Hi there, my name is Tom Hitchcock and welcome to my YouTube channel. My idea is so simple, it's really a platform for people to share their story with whoever wants to listen, basically. We have a range of stories. We have people that are relatively unassuming but have miraculous stories for us all to learn and listen to those people in society that we cannot get in front of. They have a high station and we are able to speak with them and get that story shared with us all. So please subscribe below so you don't miss out on any of these interviews that we do, and enjoy. Happy Friday. Hello, Sarah.
Hi, happy Friday. Glad to be here.
Good. Thank you for your time. You're up on the Sunshine Coast, I believe.
Yeah, definitely. It's nice and sunny as always. And yeah.
This is cold in Sydney. The terminology I would use is brass monkeys.
Oh, right.
Have you heard that before?
Yes.
Good. I'll leave that to one side then.
Yes. I didn't want you to go into an explanation. I wasn't sure if that's where you wanted to go with that.
Oh, what a great way to start off. That's it. Anyway, I'm British anyway. We like to talk about the weather. We're pretty good at that. So, okay, all right. So
I tried to convince someone actually that it was cold up here the other week, and I was trying to convince someone it was like being in England, and they just didn't have it. They're like, no. Yeah. 23 degrees is not like England.
No, it's a very different, especially when you go up Queensland and that you're hitting different. But Sydney gets twice as much rainfall than London does.
Yeah, right. But just all at once, obviously.
Yeah, that's the difference. See, people have got to come back for it, but
it's the Australian way, right? You just kind of do it all at once. It's done. Don't need to, be consistent and drop it.
Yeah. It's a bit like a trip to Bunnings, isn't it? You go in there for a tape measure and end up with a trolley load of stuff. Done everything at once.
Do you know mushrooms cost $70 at the shops? You go in for mushrooms and you end up spending $70. Although these days it's more like $120. But anyway.
I'm sure there's some help you can get for that.
I think it's online shopping.
Anyway, I can do small talk all day long, every day. So I'm pretty good at that. But I'm being mindful that we have people listening to this as well.
Oh yeah, hi there.
Yeah, hello everybody. So listen, I know a little bit about you. Okay, I can't explain you as well as you explain yourself. Do you want to explain who Sarah is, what you do, and give us some meat on the bones if you like?
Yeah, well, look, I like to explain it as if I have a profile of things, a portfolio of things that I do. For me, I'm very interested in what I do, and I live what I do because I love it, not because, I don't do the 9-to-5 grind. I'm definitely an entrepreneur. And so I do many different things that keeps me interested and entertained. So what do? I work with lots of people around their leadership skills, including communication and building their profile in their market and industry. And then I focus on those industries by helping organizations get capital into their business. So that could be people capital, it could be finance capital, it could be debt finance, it's lots of things. And I bring together teams to be able to enable that. And so we help a lot of organizations then to either sell their business, but also to grow into other markets. So we're having a huge focus at the moment on growing into the India market. Okay. It's a really fantastic market at the moment, especially with the challenges that other countries and especially Australia are having in retail. So it's a great opportunity for people to expand their business and survive what we're going through in the economy at the moment.
Okay, great. I love the word portfolio because it's something that we acquire. Obviously, we're in recruitment, so we're dealing with people's careers and also their businesses. So we conglomerate the conversation. But you invest in yourself and you acquire skills, you acquire what you're doing, and that essentially is a portfolio.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think that's a really good way of describing what we do, which is the dumb way of saying it.
Yeah, well, people don't understand otherwise.
That's it. So what I did like is that you do what you do because you love what you do, and that's rare. Okay, and that's coming from the recruitment side of things. We're trying to advocate for this as much as possible, but people need to pay the bills, need to keep the lights on, feed the kids, etc.
Oh, right. I've got a support network for that. No.
So what is it that really gets you salivating about what you do? Where does that love component kick in?
It's definitely people. it's funny because like I always say as a leadership coach, why do I pick people? I should just work with products. It'd be so much easier. Because it is challenging, but I think it's because of the challenge. Like it just gets me going. If I have to do a report and sit at my desk with a computer, it doesn't ignite me at all. Whereas if I try and book all my meetings first thing in the morning, like I'm happy to do something at 6 a.m. if I had to. And if it involved talking to someone or helping them or, understanding where they're coming from and where it fits or coming up with some ideas of them to move forward, then it's easy for me to do. I love doing it.
So it sounds to me like you like growth. If I was to try and put it down, you like to take things from A to B to Z if you can do, if they're a bit sticky. All right. I get this. So I've got part of this podcast is called Cusp, and it's all about that exciting little period where a new product's coming out, or you're starting something new, and it's all shiny and exciting and equally nervy at the same time. That's the sweet spot. And for me personally, I find business is a bit like a sport. So that would be my hobby. What am I going to do? Let's make a business out of this. Let's go and do this. Almost things up.
We're in the same company here.
and I love it. It's the fact that it can pay is a bonus.
Yeah, when I used to be in corporate, one of my girlfriends and I used to always joke, like, we'd take a year off maternity leave, and what would you do? Would start a business. This before they had maternity leave. I had kids back before, you could take time off.
So are you the sort of person that will maybe watch a TV show like Shark Tank or whatever? We've got Dragons Den in the UK and what have you.
Yeah.
Where you're shouting at the TV what the dragon or the shark ends up saying anyway. It's like
yeah. I look because of my portfolio, I've seen a lot of behind the scenes of those sorts of things, so I kind of understand the marketing side of those. I think it's a brilliant opportunity if anyone can get onto Shark Tank. Get ready for your websites to be shut down because it's a great marketing opportunity. And then I do look up the portfolios of the investors and see, what are they doing? Where have they found success? So I probably, think of the business models behind those shows.
Yeah, but that's it. So you're taking it to another level of analysing and understanding. So it's actually quite interesting. I remember when I was back at university in the UK and I had just a little casual job at Pizza Hut. Serving people's pizzas and what have you. But I loved it. Because everywhere I went, I was looking like, how does this work? How's that work? How's this branding work? Are
you saying that you're a bit of an entrepreneur before you were an entrepreneur?
Absolutely. And it's that step back, which is absolutely vital, in my opinion, when it comes to, like, for example, this is my branding here, and I like my branding. Yeah, okay. But I went 6 months without any logo, for example, because I just didn't like anything that people were sending me. I don't, and it's harder to change it, whatever. So that step back, I think, is vital, and that's in a business, but people could do this in their personal life as well. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, definitely. I think for anybody, and there's a whole generation of people coming into the workforce, and the generation that's there now won't be there in the next 10 years. So it's going to be a real changeover of the guard in the workforce. So my what I do and when I'm working with someone that's building their career or building their business is get them to understand what they're trying to achieve, because what they're doing now isn't what they're going to be doing in 3 years' time, 5 years' time, but they are picking up skills from now. They're picking up their network from now. And I don't think people understand how important that is, especially in today's market. You're not a brand in your logo. Yeah, it's beautiful. I love your logo, but no one's looking at that. They're looking at you. Yes. You're the logo, you're the branding. And so if you're not out there, saying the right things, building the right network, then no one's either going to work with you, hire you, be invested in your product or invest. And that's the thing, when you're working with investors, they're investing in the founder. They don't even expect that the product that they're investing in some cases, will be the product that they end up going to market with. So yeah, it's really about understanding what you're trying to achieve, and then what's happening in the circle around you, what's happening in your ecosystem, what are you building to create this business or career?
Yeah, and that's quite right. So in the career side of things, you've got the components. So the person that's going to be investing in yourself is the business that's going to hire you. Okay, and the way they look at it, look at what they, what bang for their buck they're going to get, but they look backwards. They look at where you come from, what you've done, and that portfolio you bring with you, your network, your skill set. okay, and how that translates for them. Surely that's the same for an investor then. So they come in, they're looking at the individual, quite rightly so.
Yeah.
Can they work with that individual? Is there an attitude problem or things like that? You know, are they open to ideas or however? Can they handle bad times? So look at the individual there, okay. But surely the journey as to where they've got, why they've come there, okay, is just as important.
What attributes are showing up? What characteristics are parts in their personalities? And I've seen it with some great CEOs when they're hiring people. And they're not looking at their past. They don't even care about their resume. They're looking about what are the attributes that they're going to bring to the business going forward. Because in today's market, with the rate of change, the business as it is today won't be what it is tomorrow. There's going to be functions that they don't even know that you need to do. Like, who knew 3 years ago that AI was an important part of your career? You know what I mean? You need to understand it. And as much as you might hate it, if you don't know it, you'll be left behind. It's not AI that's going to take over your role. It's the person that knows how to use it is going to take over your role. And so I've seen some brilliant CEOs make decisions, and even like when they've hired me, like I remember someone I met at an event said, "Can you run this event for me?" I'm like, how would you even know that I could do that? And it's just they could pick up on, you know, attributes that, you know, through the network and obviously the conversations that we had. But so yeah, I think you've got to think about, well, what attributes are you showing up with? You know, I had a client once that was really struggling to get to that next level in business. And when we looked at, you know, what he was doing and how he was interacting with his team, he was acting as a subordinate, but he wanted to be a peer. So if you want to be a CEO or in that level, C-suite, you have to start acting as a peer. Those conversations are important.
Okay. All right. Have you ever heard of something called success profiles?
Yes.
Good. Do you use them?
No. Well, I use psychometrics. So, you know, there's so many tools out there that you can use. And I'm just trying to relate it back to what you're talking about. Do you have an example of that, what you want to share about that? Like, why did you bring that up?
So it goes back to essentially where someone goes when they join. So there's a gentleman called Lou Adler who created success profiles over in the States, and he looked at the process of onboarding someone, you know, from attraction, screening, assessment, where it's going wrong. Sometimes someone can have a really good CV, interview very well, blinding refs, come in, doesn't happen. Okay. Yeah. So there's something we're still tossing a coin, heads or tails, if it works. Yeah. And what he found that was the biggest thing that's wrong was the position description. Because what position description does, by being overly wordy and forgetful, okay, is it looks backwards. It looks, you must have 5 years of this, exposure to this CRM, blah, blah, blah. Okay. What he then did is he then changed it to look forward. So if you're going to be successful in your role in 12 months' time, this is what would have happened.
Yeah. Okay. So it's got the, yeah, perfect. So I guess the tools that I use are psychometrics. So it's understanding how those people would react in those situations. So when you're hiring someone at a high level, obviously they're going to pass the interview. Their resume looks amazing. They're going to have great references, but you've got to understand what attributes are they bringing to the role? And when it comes to that description, it's really interesting. People often they want to work autonomously, but they also want them to work in a team. But that's two different things. That's two different personality traits. So, you know, are you looking for a unicorn or someone that can adapt and grow and change with what the role's going to need from them? And I guess the other point of that is, what are the KPIs of the role? You know, is there anything they need to achieve? What do they need to understand?
Exactly. So autonomy is something that's actually often misunderstood. It's sort of KPIs in many respects. So autonomy, what people are asking for is, it seems like a contradiction on terms there because they don't coexist. Okay, you can't be a team player.
But like you want a sales rep that's a technically smart person. They're two different personality types.
Exactly, it's really strange. But so autonomy really, if it's understood correctly, you'd actually be able to work in a flow state. Okay, so it basically means that your dispositional beliefs, what you really believe are really, whatever they may be, the ones that are really hard to shift and you don't necessarily know unless you dig deep enough. Okay, if you're working to your dispositional beliefs, then you're super happy. Yeah, that's autonomy, and you can still be working in a team, you can still have all that, but that's autonomy. It's where the values align perfectly. Okay. And that's quite hard to find. By the sounds of it, you have that, which is why you love what you do. you know.
That's awesome.
APIs are misunderstood as well. They were set up as an analytical tool for managing poor performance, and they work on that basis. But a lot of the time, they're used as a management tool to manage all performance and manage staff. And the problem is we don't receive that well, which is why things evolved into OKRs. You know, and you could deliver that same information a different way, and you get a better result.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, do you want to explain what OKRs are?
OKRs are KPIs on steroids, okay, and essentially they're there for the full organisation, so each department has transparency. You can see what your individual goals are as a team and how that communicates with each other. So if you're in accounts and you just focus on accounts, you're not too fast by sales. Well, you can be. Sales probably not the best example, or product development or whatever the case may be. But then how it all pulls together in the same thing, and they're just broken down the measurables. You know, what part of the organisation needs some assistance as well.
Yeah, I think, and it sounds like to me that, you know, you're looking at the overall goal and really being able to communicate what everyone is trying to achieve, and then what's your role in that. And I feel that, you know, a lot of, especially as the organisation gets larger or it's really busy and it's at that really fast growing stage, those, you know, connections and communication between what's happening can really be missed, and that's why the OKRs or OKRs or the KPIs aren't being met. I think for, you know, it's about having a goal, and knowing what does that success metrics, which is what you talked about with the onboarding and all the way through to the end, what does that look like? And it doesn't have to be a measurement either. It can be, and it is good sometimes to break it down as a measurement. Like, I like that because data helps me make decisions, but not everyone needs that. Some people like the abstract view of what the overall feeling will be at the end, and that's fine too. But it's about understanding what is necessary for the right person for the right role. And
look at that. Who would have thought we started talking nothing but recruitment? That was unintentional.
I think you started talking about your brass book.
Yeah, I started that one. Yeah. Let's go back to that one. Okay, all right. Yeah. But we learn something new every day, don't we?
Yeah. Look, I feel that, and look, and one of the psychometrics for me is knowledge. So if I'm not learning, I'm not being a part of that. I could never work in something where I would be so good at it, because I don't need to learn anything more, which obviously most times you always need to learn something. But I love that, great, getting new knowledge, new ideas, new experience. And it's just really understanding that some people really like tradition and you know, understanding what you know, they can be following rules and things like that. So it's just really understanding your own self so that you know you're in the right role.
I love that. And you know what, I actually find this quite fascinating, because I don't do too much in the recruitment space anymore. The business does it, not me personally. But when I did, we ask a lot of questions. Well, what's unique about you? What's what? And the answers are very standard. CVs, what your hobbies are. You know, I read books. I like exercise, social. It's all the same. And for me, it's quite telling that people really do not know themselves. Okay, and that's a worry. You know, it's a worry, and I really sort of like. I'm trying to think of what word here, and it's not coming out. Brass monkeys, that was the one.
Well, no, I think it's and you know, there's this really miscommunication between even the generations. Like, a lot of people talking about, you know, the generation coming through are entitled, but it's not that. I think it's our role to get them to understand what they need to know. You know, if they're doing one thing, it might be, and they're not aligning with what you're doing, it could be that there's a miscommunication somewhere there. So maybe you should get to know them first and understand what their goals are, and then, you know, understand what motivates them, because they probably don't know. You know, I would say, you know, majority of people in a very beginning part of their career wouldn't know what motivates them. Those that do are great, although the language that they're teaching at schools today around understanding feelings and things are amazing. I know, I wish I had that at school. I didn't learn that till my adult years, but and even now I'm sure I'm still going to learn more. But yeah, I think if there's something not working and there's a disconnect, then I think it's about getting to know that person and getting them to know themselves.
And that's it, exactly. So the effort needs to be made there. I really think people should take a step back to really understand themselves before they go forwards. It giving the opportunity, like it comes with life experience, as you said. You need to triangulate what motivates you. Sometimes it's externalized. Sometimes you need to be told you can't do it. Oh, we'll do it then. Yeah, we've all got a different sort of makeup on that basis.
Yeah, definitely. And then put into action. Don't think about it. Keep going forward. One of the things that I've really, been able to leverage and find myself in is that building that network, building that profile, and building, other people's profiles and networks, and using platforms to do that. And so, some of the things I'm working on this year, we've got a global summit at the end of the year. They're all platforms that people that I'm working with to help them understand themselves, help them build their profile in their industry, can be a part of.
Okay, love it. So if someone was to reach out to you today, they've listened to this, they liked what you said, less so what I said, but they like you. Why should they reach out to you? Who should be reaching out to you?
Oh, look, I would love to hear from anybody that has questions about, or uncertainty about what they're doing and wants to move forward. So I really need driven, dynamic people. So if that's people that feel like they can do more and they're just not getting there, and there's you go, I'm just not getting it. It's not working. I don't know why it's not working. I've applied for these roles, they're not working. I'm trying to build a business. It's just for some reason not working. We've built a business. It's amazing, but we can't get to that next level. Definitely reach out and we can see, what channels we have that are available to help you.
Okay, brilliant. And how would they contact you, Sarah?
I would say the best way to contact me is through LinkedIn. Actually, let's build their network. And so, if you want to come to my LinkedIn profile, it's Sarah Morgan. Otherwise, if you want to go through a page, which will be easier to find than me because there's 40,000 Sarah Morgans out there, is SIPBN. And that stands for Sydney Investors Professional Business Network. And if you go through that, you'll find me there. And let's connect and see what we can do to help you.
Sounds good. Okay. All right. So I'm going to be honest with you, Sarah. Okay. This is going to be Sarah 1.0. I will need to speak to you again because you said a whole load of things which I could go off in a tangent about. I tried to take a mental note of it and I've lost track of it. So I'm going to have to listen to this again and like, okay, let's bring Sarah back about entitlement. Let's bring Sarah back for aptitude. Let's be whatever they may be.
Awesome. Yes, well, these are all my interests, obviously, that I've built them into a career. I'm definitely happy to come back and have a chat and help out anybody that needs that conversation to go further. Sometimes
love it.
Listening is good too.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. All right, brilliant. Well, listen, thanks a lot for your time. Lovely speaking.
Thanks for having me, Tom.
You're most welcome. See ya. Thank you for watching this episode. I hope that you did enjoy it, had lots of takeaways from it. As before, please subscribe below so you can keep on top of any new releases we have. And also, if you would like to have your story told, just reach out with me and I'd love to give you that platform. My best email address is tom@purplepatchconsulting.com. Thank you.